Hello, everybody. I am joined now by John Jeter, Senior Vice President of Post Real Estate Group, and Franklin Spees, one of our investment partners assisting with due diligence. Thanks, John, for joining us, Franklin as well. John, I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you, let our investors learn a bit about who you are, what you do, how long you've been with Post, and then we can dive into, of course, Bridgepoint Apartments and the location, Waxahachie, south of Dallas, getting your perspective on those attributes of the property.
Sure. I've been with Post about 13 and a half years. Been in the industry, multifamily industry, for a little over 30 years with a broad group of property types, whether it's ground up construction or to affordable housing. Lived in the Dallas area for that same period of time, about 32 years.
That's great, John. Yeah, one of the reasons why I want to talk to you direct is you've got local knowledge, of course, being essentially a Dallas native now for 3 decades. But you also ran asset management and you're heavily involved in transactions and acquisitions of Post. So having that perspective as a local plus asset management and a buyer investor really helps bring a bit of a unique set of eyes on different investments that we're doing. So let's talk about Bridgepoint Apartments, right? Obviously, we know the community is located 30 minutes south of Dallas. We met last week on site, had a great tour of the property, the local area, and just want to get your view, maybe share with us, what's exciting about Waxahachie? Why is it a good submarket of Dallas to be investing in now?
Well, I think the most important thing to note about Waxahachie is it seems to be in the very early stages of transitioning from a bedroom community south of Dallas to what I'd call an outer ring suburb. It's located on I-35, and so it's in a very high traffic area as far as growth and industry. And it's most people that are familiar with the Dallas-Fort Worth from a real estate perspective know that the growth has historically been to the north, where you're getting to the point though that land acquisition costs and all the other associated expenses with building and developing in the north have finally started pushing a focus to the south, where you can get land much cheaper and you have municipalities that are eager to grow, and so they're friendly in that respect. And you're starting to see that on the commercial space. Waxahachie was already home to a strong employment industrial base. There's major employers there: Dart Container, Owens Corning, Georgia Pacific has a plant there, and the newest entrance into the market is Fanatics, the athletic clothing apparel company that just leased a big warehouse space in Jerry Jones's Blue Star development that he has going down there. That particular development is going to be 120 acres of mixed use, industrial, retail, some housing, mostly single family. So the area itself is really starting to see the benefits of that southern growth. But it's still in the early stages, so it's a good time to get in from a price per pound perspective.
We look, of course, very closely at population growth. That's a statistic that's tracked quite easily. And there's this really compelling chart that we just looked at of Waxahachie population, and it's just this hockey stick. It's going straight up and to the right now. So rapid growth. Do you think a lot of that is attributed to a pretty good lifestyle or low cost of housing, or all of the above?
I think it's a little bit all of the above. Waxahachie and is in Ellis County, which is the southern contiguous county to Dallas, and it's kind of been a little up until recently. It's kind of been considered to be too far out, but which in and of itself makes housing attractive. The employment base is, as I said, is strong. You can find jobs in Waxahachie. It's interesting when it comes to area median income. The area in rents are tied into the Dallas MSA, and so you have the benefit of the higher incomes in Dallas, but yet the affordability in Waxahachie is making it attractive. but you do have good paying jobs there as well. Not far from Love Field Airport. So, but you're far enough removed to where you still have that small town feel.
We looked at the average income of the tenant base, and then we look at the rent that we're charging and what the multiple is, right? And so it's pretty high, like 3.5x. So essentially meaning the average rents today can be very well afforded by the local area median income and specifically the residents of the property. And so we found that to be compelling, where we're essentially providing affordable housing to the local area, and it's much needed.
And just to reiterate on what John was saying before, driving from the airport south, the 30 minutes, you see all of the industrial buildings that are either existing or under construction, and all the way to Waxahachie. And you think about, this property, I really looked at it and got the vibe based from the price point that these are workforce housing, units, affordable, safe, and workforce housing. And that's exactly what's in that immediate area. We also noticed a significant amount of retail and big box and corporate, national brand retailers in the area just across the freeway. And then a big sports complex to the south. And there was a new high school that was being built. All these look like indicators to us of exactly what you're saying as it relates to current investment in the area. Would you agree?
Absolutely. The best way to put it is it's in that transition stage. And so we're on the front end of it with, as opposed to coming in the middle or at the tail end of it. So you're getting, value with upside. It's still priced in a manner that's indicative of a rural community or a bedroom community. But yet you have the infrastructure coming in the job base, and it's just in the path of progress to the south.
And it looked like there were some new construction projects or more recently constructed projects in the area. But again, I don't know that those are exactly direct competition to, our vintage, right?
No, they're not. And I take that as a positive, because basically what you've got is investors and developers that have identified Waxahachie as a marketplace that can absorb Class A, mid-rise, and wrap style buildings. And it's not that they're there to pick off the existing tenant base from, competitors. It's that they're building in anticipation of the growing.
Yeah, I even noticed, walking the adjacent neighborhood, those single family homes, those were priced, $350,000, $400,000, so that was immediately adjacent, which was great. And then also those rents in that neighborhood, there wasn't a whole lot for rent, but those that were 2,200 plus. So again, not competitive with what we were seeing on site.
Well, thank you both. I appreciate the time, John. Great seeing you again last week, and we'll stay in touch.
Likewise, Mark, Franklin, you guys have a good day.
All right.
You too.
Good to see you both.